Hello and welcome to Working Mums Return to Work Week session on career transition, something that I think a lot of people are interested in. I know that from one of our recent surveys, 44% of the audience said that they wanted to change their career, and 55% said that adapting their CV was a major hurdle to presenting themselves for a career change. We are really happy to have Emma Al-Kiri from CV Guru with us today, and she is the CV expert. I'm delighted to welcome you, Emma, and thanks very much for being part of this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. So this is a question that lots of people struggle with, is you want to change sector, you want to change career direction. How on earth, if you haven't got the experience, the relevant experience, how on earth do you do it? How do you present that in a CV in a way that's attractive to employers? Should you say that straight out? Should you make that point in the covering letter? Should you do a kind of, this is why you should have me kind of thing?
Yeah, so the cover letter is really important, and I wouldn't recommend applying for work without one. So if you can get a really good basis organised within your cover letter, that will explain to the reader why you are seeking to move direction. So of course you can explain your existing skills and experience and how these do pivot naturally into what you would be looking for, because there's going to be plenty of skills that the person looking to move career will be aligned to do. So it's about talking about those in a bit more detail and how these do transfer over. The other part within regards to your CV, you can sort of have the normal, I suppose, stereotype positions of the CV, such as your professional profile, key skills, but rather than having your experience in a chronological order, you may have done volunteering experience, or maybe you did some more relevant experience that was some time ago. You could then entitle a section relevant work experience on your CV, so the employer's seeing what they need to see straight away at the beginning of your CV in that section there as well. So yes, absolutely, definitely acknowledge it in the career, in the cover letter, and in the CV have a relevant experience section as well, so they can see why you're doing what you're doing.
Right. Yes, and that's really, really helpful, because I guess it's rather, if you just present your CV and they can see that you haven't been doing that particular job or in that particular sector, then they want to know why. So you might as well lay that out in the cover letter. This is why I want to do this. This is, what are the benefits to the employer of employing you? What do you bring? Fresh perspective, all that kind of stuff, but also all the skills that you have in your previous roles.
Yeah, and absolutely, and understand as well what's important about the industry or position that you're applying for, and within the cover letter and the professional profile of your CV, state that. So for example, say you're applying to financial services, state that you understand how important it is to uphold compliance in a heavy regulated industry. So state that, what's key that needs to be, I suppose, acknowledged in each of these positions, and show that you at least understand that that's something that you're going to have to concentrate on should you be successful for the role.
Great. And that sort of this, in terms of the CV and the structuring of it, there's so many different permutations, aren't there, of how people go about it these days. And sometimes, that bit at the beginning, people do it as a kind of sales pitch bit, whereas in the past it was just, you just go straight into the education, work experience, or whichever way around you did it. That bit at the beginning, how important is it, that bit where you're kind of sort of summarizing what you offer?
Yeah, so you need to get all the key points of why you're doing, why you're applying for what you're applying for. So perhaps you've maybe been undertaking studying that's relevant now to what you're hoping to apply for, that's supporting your career transition, or perhaps you have had experience in the past, or you're volunteering. Make sure that that's in there straight away. And also at the end as well, talk of the professional profile right at the top. Just have a quick sentence as well that you are, you have got significant transferable skills in, X, Y, and Z, and you're looking to, move, transition to the career of your choice. Just one line, but the cover letter will back all that up as well in a bit more detail.
And if you're applying for a specific role, it's really important, isn't it, that you tailor your CV to that specific role and use the keywords, use the job description, and yes, put those words in there and make sure it matches up.
No, definitely. So have a look at that in the professional profile if you can. And I know it's a little bit more challenging if you are transitioning to a different career, but try and mirror the job language within your professional profile and the key skills section. And do remember as well, employers cannot expect everyone to tick absolutely every single box, or they'd probably be applying for a position above that. This is their wish list or their ideal list. So not everybody will tick every single box. And I think a lot of people, particularly as well, if they've maybe been out of work for a little bit of time and their confidence is a little bit low, going, well, I don't have that one thing, I'm not going to apply. Give it a go. If you are only missing one or two skills and they're not under essential criteria, then give it a go, because as I said, you will maybe have other skills and experience that will, stand you out from other candidates. So remember, it is a wish list. Not everybody ticks every single box.
And is it important to sort of do, when you're doing your research on employers and things, to look at those that are open to people, changing the career or taking a different track?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, for example, Working Mums, I'm always a positive advocate of this, because look at returner schemes, follow companies like yourselves as well, follow again industry bodies, different job search sites that do promote that as well, and look for employers that are looking to, as I suppose, they are open to different circumstances, because there's a lot of employers now that recognise that you don't have to have a 20-year background in something to come and bring value, and that fresh perspective and different take on things is really valuable, particularly if you've got the transferable skills.
Yes. So in a way, you're almost, when you write the cover letter and put the CV together, you're kind of like, making the case for not just for the employer, but also for yourself. Gives you more confidence in yourself if you can actually articulate what it is that you bring.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're getting comfortable with that on paper, and I know it can be more challenging writing about it, but it will set the tone for interview as well. So it helps you at interview stage to almost reiterate all that great pieces of information at interview as well.
Yes, and then just fill it in with lots of anecdotes and lots of, for example, when I did this and all of that kind of thing. Yeah.
And you can have one key example in your cover letter, so don't be scared to say, for example, I achieved, A, B and C during my time, and again they'll be able to then understand the scale in which you're able to work for. Or even you could do in your last company, say you worked for an energy company. When I first started this company, I had no experience in this sector, but within a period of time I'm a quick learner, and I was able to understand this and part of the business, and I'm confident I'll be able to achieve that in this sector. So make sure that you highlight how quickly and eager you are to learn about the industry.
Yes, brilliant. Great advice there, Emma. Thanks so much. It's been really, really useful, I think.
Oh, hopefully. Thank you.